All right. We have started.
Hello, everybody.
How is everyone doing?
How are you? Welcome from wherever you're tuning in from. We'll give people a couple of minutes to tune in. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Katie Wax. I am one of the co-founders of Debris Free Oceans.
And I'm Maddie, our program and outreach director. And we're stoked to be hosting this webinar to tell you guys about many ways to celebrate these next couple ways super sustainably. So we hope you guys learned something new today. Maybe some of you already have holiday tricks to be sustainable. Don't put those in the chat yet, because in case we're covering those, we don't want to change our flow, but let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know what holidays you're celebrating. We'll probably just give it another minute or so here before we kick off.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a little presentation first about, why are we talking about sustainable holiday season? What's the purpose of that? Which, as you will find out, there's great purpose. And then we're gonna go into talking a little bit about different decor ideas, gift ideas, wrapping ideas, probably more ideas than you would like to hear. But we're really excited about them, and it's been really fun putting it together. So definitely, if you have questions popping up during anything, tune in with the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, we'll get started in a moment.
Yeah, like Katie said, it's a lot. We talk a lot, but it's fun. But we're gonna send out afterwards a really great kind of 2-pager with the checklist for things that you guys can do over the holidays. You can kind of mark off by category things that you're achieving, and then the second page will actually be links to a lot of the items that we talk about today and resources that we talk about today. So that will be coming. So don't worry about scribbling a bunch of notes as we go through everything. But you can get a holiday beverage.
Yeah,
sell it in a zero waste cup, make a toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Also a great sustainable tip. Get some reusable cups for your parties. And on that note, on that cheers, maybe we'll dive on in.
All right. So like we said, we're going to start with a couple slides and then break it out into some more kind of just going through some examples. But it's important to kind of talk about background and why we're here today, why we're going to go through all these ideas. And so at Debris Free Oceans, if you don't know us, we really do a ton of work to stop all forms of waste, but focus in a lot about plastic pollution. And one of the reasons for this is because there's a lot of plastic pollution within our oceans. And so we like to start our presentations with this. Oh, did someone say they can't see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Is that okay? I see Diana put in the chat. Okay, Rolando sees the screen. Can anyone else not see my screen?
Want me to watch the chat?
Yeah, put this over here. Katie will monitor the chat.
I'm gonna be chat lady while Maddie is educational.
So you can hit Katie up in the chat. So anyways, we start with this question. If you guys, do you think there's more pieces of plastic in the ocean or stars in the Milky Way galaxy? You want to put in the chat what you think. Higher, lower. Well, to keep moving, it's higher, and it's not just a little bit higher, it's actually 60 times more pieces of plastic is in the ocean compared to stars in the Milky Way galaxy. This is new research that came out about a year ago, and they really only surveyed the world's upper oceans. So this doesn't account for what's in the depths, what's in the sediments. So it's kind of an underestimate of how much is actually out there. And when you think about the impacts of plastics, it really goes beyond just what's polluting our oceans. It's also a huge climate change issue, and our greenhouse gas emissions are a big component of waste that we need to figure out how to reduce as well. And so for those of you who don't know, plastics are made from oil and gas. are 99% of them are made from oil and gas. And so there are emissions associated with every single stage of the plastic life cycle. So we extract oil and gas from the ground, we ship it to a refinery, refine it into the building blocks for plastic, melt these pellets down, put them into molds, create the bottles that we see on the shelves, ship those to the stores, drive to the stores to get them, take them home, use them, throw them out, send them to landfill, or recycling. Greenhouse gas emissions associated with everything, so much so that if there was a study that recently came out, if you consider the life cycle of the plastics industry as a country, it would be the 5th greatest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world.
That's wild.
And thinking about another type of waste that we're definitely going to encounter this holiday season is food waste. And there are also significant greenhouse gas emissions associated with food waste. When organics like our food that we eat or the natural wreaths and trees that we use to decorate end up in the landfill, they emit greenhouse gases, including methane, which, as some of you guys might know, is one of the most potent greenhouse gases. And so that's another type of waste we should be thinking about as we move forward in the presentation. And then kind of one more thing that we're going to touch on today, moving back to even before we throw the food out, if we have food waste, when we're making it, when we're deciding what we eat or serve at our parties over the holiday season, you can have a really significant impact on reducing your personal greenhouse gas emissions and impact on climate change by switching to a plant-based diet. If you're eating more meat-based food, the impacts of this of consuming meat-based products, there's emissions associated with the cattle farming, and you really can significantly reduce your emissions by limiting the amount of meat that you consume. And a quote that I like to highlight is, I can't remember who said it, I should have looked that up, but it was someone who said, we don't need a few perfect vegans, we need a bunch of people that are trying. And so I know I'm not asking you guys to go make 100% vegan dishes for all your holiday parties, but like trickle in a couple things. Introduce your relatives that maybe haven't tried vegan food before. Maybe don't tell them and sneak them vegan dishes and be like, surprise, you like vegan food.
That's what I do. I do that a lot. It works out really great. It's mostly fun for me, I think, so.
So you should do that. And this is the biggest crash course in the impacts of plastics and climate ever. But just to quickly touch on a few things, we've obviously got biodiversity loss as we're losing habitat to climate impacts. We're losing wildlife to consuming and getting entangled in plastics. We're seeing impacts to human health as humans ingest plastics, or as we're seeing more forest fires from climate change. There's particulate matter in the air that our communities are breathing in, which is very harmful. Damages our local economies. We see that here in Florida, specifically thinking about the severe damage we're encountering from these severe storm events, and then also threatens our food supply as we lose wildlife to both climate change and to plastic pollution. And again, super fast crash course. If you want to learn more about any of these things, we could talk your ear off. We can deliver you guys a presentation. We'll have our emails in the chat afterwards. We have resources online. And yeah, just wanted to end with, now is really the time to act as much as possible. I'm sure you guys saw some of the summary results from the latest IPCC report, but it's empowering with these like high impact situations like the holidays or big events with your family or big events celebrating the holidays. There's the potential to do a lot of damage, but that also means there's a potential to do a lot of good, and it's easy and accessible to do well. So we're excited to share some tips with you guys. And circling back to the holidays again, there's a lot of ways that we can be more sustainable or less by how we're choosing our decorations, how we're choosing to wrap presents, how we're choosing to purchase our presents. Are they being delivered with a lot of packaging waste? How we're choosing to serve food at our parties. Is there a lot of plastic tableware? And then again, with kind of more natural items and organics, like the food we're eating, what are we deciding to eat when we're done with our food and with our Christmas trees? How are we disposing of them to make sure our impacts are as reduced as possible? And so with that, we are going to switch to today's show style to walk through some fun, exciting gift decoration, wrapping ideas with you guys. And so in a moment, we're gonna stop, stop sharing my screen. But the first gift for you guys is that I'm a model. This is our first example. And so this is one gift idea for you guys. It's an amazing company called Waterlust. They make all of their activewear and gear out of recycled plastic bottles. They make sure that they reduce waste as much as possible. So when they cut out these leggings and their sports bras, they save the fabric scraps and make buffs and scrunchies and headbands. And they actually have a new take back program where you can send old Waterlust gear, which is tough because it's such good quality. Like you never would need to send it back. I have had stuff for like 6 years now, but if you are over a design, you can send it back. You'll get a $20 credit, and then you can get a $20 credit to buy more Waterlust stuff, and they recycle it into an all black line. One more tidbit why this is SpongeBob focused, if you were wondering, for all of their prints, they partner with a nonprofit or research organization related to the marine science inspired print, and they donate proceeds to that organization. This is a new line that they actually partnered with Nickelodeon and Paramount, and proceeds from the sales of this line benefits the organization that the creator of SpongeBob used to teach marine science at, and created SpongeBob to inspire more kids like me to get into marine science. So it's super cool. Last thing about the Waterlust rant, I promise I'm almost done, is that we partner with them too, where if you shop through waterlust.com/DFO, we get a 20% donation of your purchase, which is amazing. So it just checks every single box that you would ever need for a sustainable present. That's my Waterlust rant. And now I will stop sharing my screen.
And now we welcome you to the Maddie and Katie Sustainable Holiday Show.
Woo!
Greetings. We're excited to go over some decor and some gifts and some wrapping with you. So I guess we'll get started maybe with some decor. So this tree here is actually a plant. This plant will grow with me, grow with my family. For those who don't know me, I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. You may have heard the 2-year-old earlier in the beginning of this.
He's left the premises, so we're done with interruption.
But anyway, so this is actually a living plant, which is awesome. So I am contributing some oxygen to the atmosphere, but also have something fun to decorate every year with my family. And the decorations on it are really exciting as well. I have to give a huge shout out and props to my mom. She's the one who was the innovator of this, but she basically started taking old ornaments that had broken. So this is an old ornament that had broken, and she took little pieces of like trinkets from other Christmas holiday decorations that had broken, and basically stuck them inside, took tinsel and decorated the outside and created her own new ornaments, which is awesome.
So cool.
And then this one, I don't know if you guys can guess what this is.
If you want to try to guess
it's a
in
little
the chat.
delicate because again, I have a 3- and 2-year-old who throw things around, but hopefully you just don't get damaged, but still very in good shape. This is actually an Nespresso pod from one of those Nespresso machines. And so she took a bunch of these Nespresso pods and started doing it as well with these. So I have these really cute and fun decorations that came from my mom. So they're really meaningful and they're upcycled, which makes it even more awesome.
And if you're not that creative or that artistically talented like myself, you can go simple and find things around your house that are the colors of the holiday you're celebrating. So if you're celebrating Christmas, red and green, throw them in a jar and make a super cute, simple table display. And then when the time is ready, if you have it out on your table, you're making some beverages, you can use the contents like these limes to accessorize and add to your drink. So this is a great hack for those less inclined.
And oh, I was gonna say, speaking of beverages, if you guys have any old alcohol bottles lying around before the holidays, you're trying to clear out your stash, there's a lot you can do with those. This is an old Patron bottle, actually. I took some old house paint sitting around my house, so matches my house, poured it inside, swished it around. Now I have a custom vase that matches my house, which is pretty awesome. And then this guy, this is a Bombay Sapphire bottle. I just think they're so pretty because they're light blue. I take all the labels off and put a pothos in there. You could put any type of like vine plant, and use that for decoration. And we got some nice fancy green.
Yeah.
Even Maddie can grow these plants, guys. So you can do this.
I
And
can.
and Maddie is a self-claimed brown thumb. So you
Yes.
can do it.
You can. I've done that. So you can do that. Or if you don't have a green thumb, you can just go outside and grab a pine cone and put that up for decoration. Again, simple is key too, but you can see we're kind of emphasizing natural materials. Like it's so much better to go out and grab a pine cone or propagate a pothos from a friend or use this food before you're going to eat it. It's so much better than any kind of single use plastic material that isn't going to last long, is going to end up in the landfill or in the environment, leaking out into the environment. Using something natural is best. And if you can reuse it, like I've had this pine cone, I have no idea how long I've had this pine cone, way too long. But if you need to get rid of it, you can. It's best at the end of the day to compost it. 'Cause like we were saying during the slides, when this stuff ends up in the landfill, it's not great. If we return it to composting, there's less emissions and it can turn into healthy, nutritious soil. So that's my pine cone rant.
Pine cone rant. Continuing on the pine cone rant. These are also really fun if you get kind of like the bigger ones. Activity with your kids, you can paint them, you can put peanut butter on the outside or glue and like put some seeds around it and like decoration. You can hang little ornaments on it, so it's super fun. And then that becomes like a little mini Christmas tree decoration that you can always have. And then I guess when it comes to some decorations that, you know, maybe would be more challenging to make, like this menorah, for example, I don't know how I would weld a menorah, not in my wheelhouse, but
definitely not in mine.
yeah, I got this as a family heirloom. So this was given to me by my mother-in-law, which is amazing. It means it's much more sentimental to me. I love it. Obviously it's reuse because I didn't buy it new. So that's a great thing about the holidays. It's all about connecting with others and connecting with your family and friends. So if you need something like a menorah or a couple ornaments, you know, it could be a fun way to reach out to your friends and do an ornament swap. Or does anybody have some extra menorahs laying around? I feel like holiday stuff just tends to pile up in our attics sometimes or in our closets. And so it's a fun way to connect with people and have a story behind something that, you know, versus going to a store and just kind of like, oh yeah, I got this at blah, blah store. It's like, you know, more exciting.
But if you want to start it by going to blah, blah store and then pass it on to the rest of your family and friends, you can,
that's cool too.
That's cool too. It's always better to invest in something nicer at the beginning of the day rather than constantly buying a cheaper version that breaks. Sure, this is going to seem a lot more expensive up front, but you're not going to have to buy this over and over again every year. So eventually you will return on that investment. And there are probably great spots around you. If you go today to like Goodwill or a thrift store, check out resale stores and see what you can find. I feel like right now, a lot of people got their decorations down and we're like, wow, we have some things we don't need. Including me, I have way too many decorations. I love to decorate.
Lots of wigs.
Lots of
if
wigs.
you ever need a wig for a costume, please call Maddie. But yeah, so go out and check out some thrift shops and get some cool quality goods. We have another decor item for you guys. These fancy orange slices. So I actually made these last night. They're dry, they're dehydrated, and they're really beautiful just to kind of decorate. Like you could put a tablecloth down, put some of these oranges, some pine cones. You got a real fall, winter, festive vibe going on. And then you can also stick them in drinks and people can eat them, compost them later. So that's another fun decor item. And you can kind of pop them in the oven, while you're cooking something else, or heating something up for the fam. So you're not wasting too much energy with that. That was super easy. And these oranges were kind of going, they weren't the best anymore. So instead of them going completely to waste, now they're a decoration. Which is
Yeah.
awesome.
And you can put them on the table. You can put this stuff in your trees. You can put it in like decorations over the mantle on
You
your.
can string them on some twine and like hang them.
Yeah.
Lots of ideas,
Yes.
guys. Like we warned you at the beginning, lots of ideas. And if you have any ideas, seriously, throw them in the chat. Would love to hear them.
Yeah.
And shout them out.
And we'll have a link to making those in the resource guide that comes out after this. I made these 2 years ago. I also, similar to my brown thumb, have a no cooking thumb, but I made these. I guess it's not really cooking, but I was able to do it. So you can do it too.
Amazing. So I think that concludes our decor portion.
Section 1.
Section 1. Section 2, gifts. The things we all love to receive, we all love to give. The holiday season's all about gifts. So how do we make gifts sustainable? So we have some great ideas for you guys. First, maybe starting with some of our athletic friends. Maddie, what would you get one of your athlete friends?
Okay, so I'd probably get them one of these. And this is an amazing workout mat and yoga mat by a company called Suga. Also, I promise we're like not paid by all these people that we're about to promote in this webinar.
Yeah, we're not. We will tell you. If
We will tell you
agreement.
because we want you guys to use our codes. But I think there's actually only one code for today. But anyhow, Suga, and this is actually made from recycled neoprene from recycled wetsuits, which is amazing because neoprene is like one of the most resistant to breaking down materials in the world. It used to be used to line landfills. That's how protective it was. But if you guys are divers or surfers and you use your wetsuits a lot, you know that they probably last like 2-3 years. And then where's it supposed to go? To Suga. If you send your wetsuits to them, they will give you a 10% discount on their products. So it goes into these materials, into these items. I think they have wetsuits and or yoga mats and coasters. And then if your mat goes bad or you want to turn it in for whatever reason, they will also recycle your old Suga products for a 10% discount. So very cool. I love it.
You'll hear that a lot with some of the products that we talk about, that you can send it back at the end of their life. And that's so important because it's so important that companies start to take responsibility for their products that they put out there. So we really love this like closed loop life cycle of product manufacturing, where it's not just like off my hands onto the consumer and onto the public to deal with, but as a business, I'm taking responsibility for the waste that I'm producing, and I will take it back and I will recycle it and make sure that it's handled appropriately and made into another new mat. So
go Suga.
Companies that we're going to talk about. But speaking of our yoga friends, sometimes yoga mats can get kind of stinky.
Not mine.
Not Maddie's. I didn't smell it now because I smelled it yesterday when we were doing a practice.
It doesn't smell,
It
but
doesn't smell.
if it had.
And it's because Maddie uses a yoga mat cleaner that she's going to teach you how to make. It's actually a yoga mat cleaner / just household cleaner in general, that you can make and give to your friends and customize. And before I take Maddie's show away about this, I'm tell them how you make it.
Okay. Again, an easy thing for those of us who are less craftsy and creative and just not good at making things. This is witch hazel. It's one of the ingredients, and I actually bought this at Verde Market, which is a bulk refill store. There's one in Sunset, there's one in Midtown, and there's one in Fort Lauderdale. They're amazing. You bring your own container, you tear it, you fill it up. There's like a smart system with a tag once you tear it, and then at checkout, they scan the tag and the price comes up. You can go with a half full container like this and tear it and still use this to top off with more witch hazel. So this is awesome zero waste witch hazel.
Yeah, and sorry, just quick additional plug on Verde. They are amazing and they sell much more than just witch hazel.
Yes.
You had teas, olive oil, soap, shampoo. So great place to go for gifting. Bring some reusable bottles in, and could be funky, different shapes. Could be some of these cool shaped looking bottles, and fill it with some stuff and give it as gifts.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, continue with
And they also accept compost. They don't take your Christmas trees to them, but if you have compost at your house, you can bring it and drop it off at Verde Market too, if that's closer than some of the other composting sites that we'll talk about later. Anyways, DIY cleaning spray, super easy. It's a ratio of 1 cup or 1 whatever witch hazel to 4 of water. And then if you're doing 1 cup of witch hazel, 4 cups of water, you do like 4 or 5 drops of your favorite essential oil. This is really fun too, because last year I made a group kind of present where I made everyone their own yoga cleaning sprays. I got them all different little bottles, and then I filled them with essential oils that I knew each specific person liked, or if it reminded me of them. So it has kind of that cute personal touch, which is always really nice. And then you can put it into a cute bottle. This is actually an old healthy kombucha bottle. The the spray tops will fit onto like an upcycled bottle like this. So you can use an old kombucha bottle that you have, or Verde has a bunch of cool ones. And then this is Katie's joke, I'm stealing it, where you can get cute ones with labels. So you can actually write in chalk on this, or in Sharpie, like a metallic Sharpie, and make something cute that's like stinky, what was it? I forgot.
I don't know.
You stink spray.
Yeah,
Like,
something like that. You can make
something
it
funny.
or you can be nice, like good luck spray, or
Yeah.
I love you potion spray, or I don't know, something like that. But it's a really fun gift. I'm really hoping Maddie makes me one this year.
She
I
wasn't part of it
that.
last year.
But this spray can also be used
For people. For people.
for people
And
or
shoes.
for shoes. So we've got a few shoe options to show you here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Vans shoe gal. I guess it's like the, I don't know, 13-year-old skater girl in me. But I was super stoked when Vans came out with some natural material shoes. They made from natural rubber and hemp. Versus their traditional, more fossil fuel based shoes. So that was pretty exciting for me. But it's not all their shoes. So you have to search for it. Make sure it's the natural ones.
Yes. And another shoe, this is by a company called Nothing New. They're amazing, pretty much literally made of nothing new. All recycled plastic material goes into the shoe itself and into the shoelaces. They use recycled rubber and recycled cork for the actual soles. They're pretty amazing. These ones are a little dirty, so I'm glad you're far away, but they have high tops and low tops. And I don't like shopping on Black Friday, but they had a sale. So I got some cool new white kicks too. Definitely check out Nothing New.
And for our last shoe,
Shoes.
a little bit more profesh. These are great. These are Rothy's. This is another closed loop company. So they make these out of recycled plastic bottles, and then at the end of the life of the shoe, you can send it back, and they will recycle it again into more shoes. They also make handbags, but they're super comfortable. They're like wearing yoga pants for your feet. You can throw them in the washing machine, so they never really get dirty. They're kind of indestructible. So they're really kind of like a lifetime shoe, which is great.
Yeah, the fact that you can throw them in the wash is just a game changer.
Yeah, I love anything that I can throw in the wash for sure.
Any shoes. Okay.
All right, so now let's maybe talk about this bag, Maddie.
Yeah, this is a cool one, and it was at Katie's last night when I wanted to use it. We're at Katie's right now. So I sacrificed using this for the purpose of this webinar, which I'm okay with, but super cute bag. It's actually made of old
soda pop tabs.
I
Maddie
never
can never say
remember.
that word for some reason. Soda pop tabs.
Soda pop tabs, whatever they are. And So that's great because they're not getting thrown out or recycled. Recycling is better than throwing out, but recycling rates are not at 100% in their emissions. So repurposing before recycling is the best. And I actually got this at the Coconut Grove Farmers Market. So it was supporting a small local artist. I was shopping local, so there were not like the emissions associated with delivery and all that. And so whenever you can kind of shop small, shop local, that's best to support your local economy and to support no delivery waste and reducing your carbon footprint.
Yeah, totally. I love shopping at farmers markets. It always makes me feel like I got something unique and cool and not just something at like a big box store that anyone can have, has more of a story to it. One thing that I got recently are some earrings from a farmer's market. This is actually made from recycled plastic bottles, which is
So
awesome.
cool.
And then
She lost
I
one.
know I did lose one. I was very sad.
So we're gonna hang it in the tree.
Yeah, we are gonna hang on the tree. Upcycling, don't throw away. And then we've got these guys. These are actually available on the Debris Free Oceans website not
No,
really. You need to email us if you want them, but we make them in partnership with a company called Rejewel, and they are plastics that cannot be recycled. So you can see there all those different colors are different colored plastics that can't be recycled, and they're molded into earrings, which is pretty awesome. And there's some other versions of it as well, like these circular ones, which we interpret as the circular economy, which we always love to talk about.
and they're very cute because since they're just non-recyclable plastics, it's not stuff that came from the beach or the landfill. So she cuts up really cool, like shiny plastics to incorporate into them and makes them very nice. Like I will wear these to weddings and people compliment my earrings. And I'm just like, oh, that was going to be trash, but it's my earring. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Great opportunity, great speaking point, which again, I think Maddie already touched on this, but like the holidays in general, you know, such a great opportunity to interact with so many people and talk about sustainability in a really fun and uplifting way, through gift giving or through decor, and make it really approachable for your friends and family.
Yes. One more thing that's also exclusive,
Yeah,
not on our website yet.
it's
Another-
coming unless someone wants to volunteer their
Yeah.
time to update our website, but otherwise.
As a
email us.
present to us for the holidays. We've been trying to put these on our website for a little while now, so we have it. So it's an exclusive. You have to reach out if you want one or come to an event. But these are our Debris Free Oceans shirts. This one, if you can see, says "I'm no dirty beach," which is a super fun slogan. The aunts in my family love this. My friend bought like 5 for like all of her family last year. This is a big hit if you have goofy relatives. But they are by Everywhere Apparel. That's the name of the company that makes the shirts, which is a new, like we think first of its kind, 100% recycled cotton shirt, which is amazing because 1, it's 100% recycled, and 2, it's cotton, which is a natural fiber compared to like polyester or of what's technically a plastic fiber that will leach microplastics into the environment. Cotton is natural. And so with those 2 components, amazing. Katie found them. I can't take credit for it. Katie found them.
It was fine. Finally, I was like, we found the most sustainable t-shirt because it like to put our logo on something. I was very proud of that. Because yeah, a lot of shirts will say, you know, we're made from recycled materials, but it's usually recycled plastics, which again, like Maddie said, can leach microfibers. So no microfibers here, recycled, and it's another closed loop company. You can send this shirt back to Everywhere Apparel at the end of its life. They will recycle the cotton again and make it into new shirts that maybe we will sell again. So proceeds from this obviously help fund Debris Free Oceans education and outreach and consulting. So hit it up. And the only other company actually that does make a recycled cotton shirt that I'm aware of at the moment is Patagonia, which is another great company to check out. They do a lot for the environment in terms of advocacy, but also make great products. And speaking of them, one of their partners of Patagonia is a company called Borreo. So Borreo makes skateboard decks, sunglasses, as well as
And Jenga.
You can see it here on
Okay.
the side. You can see
Okay.
the That's the actual Jenga part. This is made from recycled fish nets that come from Chile. So they actually, Borrego pays Chilean fishermen to go out and collect ghost fishing nets, which if you're not familiar with them, it is not a Halloween fishing net. It is a fishing net that is no longer attached to a boat and just floats along the sea, collecting different marine life, ultimately to their peril. So it's very sad. So they pay Chilean fishermen to go out, collect those nets, bring them back to shore, so they no longer ghost fish. And then they take those nets and they make them into plastic pellets that are then put in molds and make things like this Jenga set or the skateboard,
So
or the
cool.
sunglasses, which is amazing. And then they also are partnered with Patagonia and help Patagonia with some of their products as well, like the brims of the Patagonia hats, things like that are made from the Borrego materials, which is awesome. There's also another sunglass company called Caroon, which is also from Chile, down in Patagonia, and they make all of their sunglasses out of recycled materials, including the metal components and everything. So they're pretty great as well.
Two more things.
Two more things
For gifts.
We're good. And
It's
then
the
we have
next
wrap.
section. Okay. Okay, so say you're skating and get really sweaty and you have to shower. What do you want to get them next? These are shampoo bars and conditioner bars. And so what that is, if you're not familiar, is a couple years ago, people were really wanting shampoo and conditioner that wasn't in plastic packaging, but it didn't exist. Now you can actually refill at Verde, but in the interim, they had come up with a new technology where they actually like dehydrated shampoo and conditioner to make it into a form of soap, similar like to the bath soap that we use to wash our bodies. And so these you actually use to wash your hair and condition your hair. And it just comes, yeah, look at this hair. It's good hair day, huh? And it comes completely free of packaging. So this is another fun thing where you can go and like pick out a shape or a color or, well, yeah, color or a scent that like reminds you of your friend, or you know your friend really likes lavender. You can do like a more personalized present.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you want some more body care type homemade DIY gifts, we actually did during COVID a whole thing on how to make toothpaste and body scrubs and things from scratch.
Hair gel
So
and deodorant.
So if you are interested in making some of that for your friends, I actually once made all of my friends deodorant. It was a hit, let me tell you. They're never gonna forget that gift. And then our last but not least gift to talk about is this new book called Wild Miami. Super cool. Our friends TJ and Shannon wrote it. They are the co-founders of Mores, another local nonprofit organization here in Miami. Shout out to them. They're amazing.
Kind of in the chat.
I'll let Nadia take over the rest of talking about this book.
Yes, so cool that two of our friends, they're two of the four writers of this book. It's available for pre-order. It's actually launching on January 3rd, I believe. And this series basically goes to major cities and documents the biodiversity and the natural history and the kind of the parks and open spaces in each city to just, as we develop more and more, as we think of these urban spaces as they're urban and that's it, and there's no going back. There's so much wildlife here, specifically in Miami. There's a wild LA. But yeah, we finally have our own. So it has a bunch of biodiversity and conservation opportunities, like nonprofits you can work with, like the Brave Free Oceans, which is maybe why we're plugging it. But honestly, it's like a really amazing book. So definitely check this out. It's beautiful. The artwork's beautiful. They worked with local photographers to get photographers of wildlife. And so this will remind you of why we need to be doing all this to protect the wildlife that's in here, in addition to us. But yeah, that's my rant about Wild Miami.
And that is the close of the gift section. If you have any other ideas for gifts, please let us know. If you want to brainstorm any more gifts, please also let us know, because clearly we love to ramble about all of these things. But last but not least,
We have to wrap them.
Right, giving gifts. You know, a lot of people anticipate that the gifts will be wrapped. I tend to just give them to people, but also, but what I actually do the most is I have a stock in my closet of all the gift bags that I've ever received, really from anybody. And so when it comes to gift giving, I just go in and I grab one of those bags and I just repurpose it. That's the easiest way. And in my opinion, I love doing that. I think Maddie does the same thing. This is a little Santa.
My Santa
gift
sack of
wrapping
gift wrap.
bag. She keeps a bunch of like leftover tissue paper in here that you can use.
Yeah.
All types of stuff. So
affordable.
yeah. And
So versatile.
and you know, when people are like ripping through the presents under the tree, you know, it's like going everywhere, you know, just sit there and grab it all.
Grab
And
the
you're like,
bigger piece.
I got all my gift wrapping for the year. Which is great. And then there's also, if you don't have that on hand, there's some other options for you.
Yes, this one, I'm gonna steal this one because it's my favorite. I learned this maybe 2 or 3 years ago when we did a wrap webinar dedicated to wrapping. And these, I don't know, can you guys, if you want to put in the chat what you think these are wrapped
What do you
in?
think it is? Actually, we'll talk about this one while you guys
While you
tell us
guess.
what you think this is made out of.
And then this is an old bow that has completely lost its stick because I use it year after year. But once I have my tape, I just tape it back on for next year.
And then this is like a paper bag from
Chipotle.
Wherever you go, if you forget your reusable bags at the grocery store and have to get the bags, you know, you can ask for paper and then use it as your wrapping paper. And if you want, you can even get like stamps and put stamps on it to make them customized. So yeah, it can be really fun. So did anyone
We got aluminum foil as a guess, which is a great guess.
It's aluminum foil. Okay, yeah, that it looks like aluminum foil. But Maddie, tell them what it is.
This is an inside out chip bag. So when you get like a giant thing of potato chips or like Cheetos, whatever snack you like, this is that like beautiful shiny inside. So you just kind of cut one side of the bag, wash it, let it dry, and it turns into this beautiful metallic wrapping paper, which is so great because everyone's always wondering like, what are we supposed to do about these chip bags? They're not recyclable. I don't know if you knew that, like we can't throw these out in our curbside recycling because it actually clogs the machinery. So this has to go to the landfill, and food wrappers are like one of the top things found on beach cleanups. So when we can give them another life, then it's this beautiful. I get so excited. I was like, Kate, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, she was like, don't take this away from me, which I can't because this is a Maddie OG original.
Well,
like,
I didn't think of it.
Oh, you
No,
didn't?
no.
Oh,
Well, I don't think so. No, I think it was the internet, but I
was trying to
found
think of
it.
But on that note, that concludes our Today Show portion
Yes.
of the day. Thank you for tuning into that. Maddie does have a couple extra slides for you just to give you a few more tidbits that we couldn't fit on
Yes.
this table or underneath this table.
Just
so
few more
just a couple things about, you know, cards, composting, and then purchasing things zero waste as well. So if you stay on, take it.
And this will be quick. Again, we'll have this in kind of the resource guide.
Yeah, and then
Hopefully you
we'll be
guys can
available
see
for
my
some
screen.
questions at the end.
I'm just gonna pull up the chat so I can see if anything comes up. Okay. So cards are obviously a big thing during the holidays, sending cards to your loved ones for the holidays you celebrate, for New Year's Eve, thank you cards. And there are a lot of opportunities to create or use cards sustainably. One being recycled paper is better than raw virgin paper. There's also FSC approved or certified paper, so Forest Stewardship Council. So that basically kind of verifies that these papers come from forests that are sustainably managed. One of my personal favorites are the cards that come with seeds in them. I don't know if you guys have seen those before, but you literally can put those in soil and have plants sprout from it. And then they have a beautiful plant to remind you of them and how thoughtful you were, to thank them or send them a card. And then completely waste-free is online virtual. I feel like people love the hands-on cards for the holidays, but there are some like hilarious and like super interactive electronic cards, and you can include tons of photos. You can have like really funny like dancing elves. So cool card opportunities to be zero
The
waste.
dancing elves one.
Yeah, the dancing elves ones.
You can put your family's face on your dancing elves and they get sent to people. It's really funny.
Great. Another thing wanted to promote, again, we talked about this in the beginning, but some plant-based recipes. These are just a couple of some of ours and our other co-founders' favorites. Our one co-founder, Sarah, loves mushroom gravy. We linked to a recipe to that in the follow-up. Just any roasted vegetables are great. Lemon asparagus risotto. I did make a risotto once, a cauliflower risotto. Yeah, it was one of Julie Fran's cooking class. It's really good. I need to add, I'll put that one in the doc too. Vegan mac and cheese I've also made, which I'm very proud of. There's a really great recipe with like almond milk and nutritional yeast and like paprika. And honestly, it's delicious. So just a few ideas.
Yeah, I've made the vegan mac and cheese before and brought it to my family's house with a bunch of picky eating kids. And I put carrots and bell peppers in the sauce to give it that orange hue. And all the kids ate it and they loved it. And then I didn't actually tell them what it was made out of because I figured that might, I don't know, ruin the opportunity in the future. You know how picky toddlers are.
Yeah, I gotta just trick them. Trick them and then tell them one day when they're older. So these are just a couple, sneak them in. When you're going to shop for the food that you're making, there are two great opportunities for zero waste ingredients. One of them is Verde Market that we already spoke about, where you can bring your own containers. They have spices, salt, pepper, oils, like anything you would really need. That's where I get my nutritional yeast for my vegan mac. So definitely check them out. They're also, if you're tuning in from out of state or somewhere else, there's a website called litterlist.com. And you can actually go there and search by state and then by kind of region and city for both composting and for zero waste refill stores. So check those out if you're from out of town. And then if you're in town or if you're in Philly or I think DC, The Rounds is an amazing new zero waste delivery company, which is just amazing because it takes the, what am I trying to say? It makes it convenient and easy to shop plastic free. You don't have to spend time going to the store, bringing all your containers, carrying. I enjoy doing that. I find it very therapeutic.
But I am extremely busy with my toddlers, so I actually use The Rounds and I absolutely love it. You can get all of your pantry staples and different things, and literally they just bring jars to my house filled with the food that I need. I use it, and then the next week I put it out on my front door and they take it and bring it back, and it's awesome.
And they use bikes.
Yeah.
So there's no emission.
They're amazing. And if you use the code OCEANS when you sign up, you will actually get your first month free. And we will get a donation for you signing up. So thanks in advance if you do that. But also just it's a great resource for you if you are in the area that they service.
Yes, they're amazing and growing fast. So even if they don't service you now, definitely check back in a couple weeks because they're growing. Okay, on to a couple composting recommendations. This is for your food waste. And even actually before composting, if you have leftover food, it's better to try to use like a food rescue to give that another home and feed people, because a lot of people need food now and always. So doing that is better than composting first. So just two recommendations. Miami Rescue Mission is a great food rescue organization that's local. They will take leftovers, they will take food, but then there are also community fridges. They don't take leftovers, like they don't like a bunch of kind of leftovers coming and being dropped off. But if you have food that you just can tell you overpacked or like overbought stuff for your party, you have leftover like foods from like before you even created some of your dishes, they will take food that you do not need anymore.
Yeah, there's actually, for anyone who lives in the Grove, there's a community fridge on Grand Avenue. It's awesome. It's decorated, really cool.
Yeah.
You can just go and drop food off.
Yes. And in the resource guide, there's a link to their website, which kind of has a map of everything. That if you have food waste that you need to compost, there's a company called Compost for Life. They're also awesome. Everyone's awesome on this webinar that we've spoken about, but they will actually give you a little cute pink bin and you can fill it up with your food waste over the course of the week. They come drop it off, take it to their farm and homestead, compost it. And then if you're interested, if you have a garden, they will drop off some compost as a thank you that you can use at your own house, and then drop off a new bin for you to start using again, making it easy. They service residential and home and commercial. So check them out. But if you also would rather just kind of drop off somewhere nearby, if you guys are tuning in from Miami Beach, the Botanical Gardens on Miami Beach has a drop-off site. Verde Market accepts compost. And then in the Grove, there is Back to Earth. So there are sites that you can drop off. And if you're worried about having like gross food in your house, some people like to freeze their food waste so that it's kind of like left kind of protected in your freezer. So you can do that and then drop it off when you're ready to go. And then for Christmas trees, Miami-Dade County actually has a super convenient roadside collection program. It doesn't get composted, but it gets turned into mulch. And then if you can prove that like you're a Miami-Dade County resident, they will give, and you want mulch. I personally don't need mulch. They will give you mulch in exchange for recycling your Christmas tree.
Take some mulch.
Yes, so yes, it's a mulch trio. But there is like a schedule. So this QR code, if you want to quickly scan it, will show you kind of the schedule, but it lasts for a couple weeks after Christmas. So you don't have to be like taking down your Christmas tree immediately, but you can check your zone and see when they'll be coming by. Will also be in the resource guide. And then the last thing, and this was actually Rolando's amazing idea from the city of Miami Beach, just to kind of provide some keywords that can help you do some Google searching, because say maybe none of these seem like the perfect fit. If you're interested in a different gift or something, or a different type of decoration, Google is like the most amazing resource in the world, and you should look up what you're interested in and just kind of combine it with these sustainability keywords to see if you can find a company or a resource that can provide a sustainable option. So these are just a couple. There's honestly probably so much more, but feel free to screenshot this, like sustainable, sustainably sourced, repurposed, upcycled, recycled, closed loop, plastic free, zero waste. I think we said all of these things today at one point.
Yeah.
And then for food, I'd have like vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, probably more, but this is just a couple. If you guys have ideas, you can throw them in the chat. But yeah, we encourage you guys to search for what you're looking for. See if you can find a sustainable option first. We're seeing more and more things on the market every year, hence why this webinar was so long. But that is all.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you to the City of Miami Beach for having us do this holiday webinar in collaboration with them. We're so grateful for them. We're grateful for you guys tuning in, and we hope that you learned something today. And happy holidays, everybody. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via email. Follow us on social. We'll definitely be posting more tips as the holidays near. And if you have any questions now, feel free to pop them in the chat. And we are happy to answer anything you might be interested in chatting about.
Check the chat.
Check the chat.
I think I was sneakily monitoring it throughout too.
Okay.
And yes, feel free to reach out and ask questions too. Sometimes we're a little slow to reply, but we always do. And we love talking about this stuff. So you can DM us, you can email us, anything comes up. But yeah, again, thank you to the city for working with us on this and partnering with us. We love working with you guys and admire everything that the city does to also make Miami Beach super sustainable.
Yeah. All right, guys. I don't see any questions coming in. So I guess on that note, have a great rest of your day. Happy Wednesday. December 1st is tomorrow. So great
Wow.
time to start. I know it's
That's
insane,
crazy.
right? Like, how did that happen? So it's a great time to start, implementing all these fun things. Since a lot of them are kind of crafty, you can just like start slowly now. And so you're prepared by the time the holidays get rolling. But thank you, everyone. See you
Bye.
later.